Hello there, I'm John, and today I normally welcome you with a happy and enthusiastic introduction to the artist we're going to be speed painting along with. Unfortunately, with the invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces, it's a slightly more sombre start. In fact, today we're going to be visiting professional watercolour artist Michal Jasiewicz live from Poland that has a border with Ukraine about the same length as the Netherlands coastline. So it's quite a long border. And I think, speaking to Michal before this show, he's about 200 kilometres from the nearest Ukrainian city or town. So things will be weighing on his mind, I'm sure. But let's just take a moment, shake it all off, all this doom and gloom. And today is all about painting a classic landscape. And for the next hour, we're going to have some fun in this shorter prelude to Michal's 2 to 3 hour workshop webinar in a few weeks' time. If this is your first time joining us, although you can just watch, these short classes are designed for you to speed paint along with. It's fast and furious, but it complements the longer workshop where you can dig deeper into the techniques and pick up more tips. So without further ado, let's zoom to Michal now. As we journey to Poland, if you want to paint along, the recommended materials and reference pictures can be found on our website on our video library page under class info. You can also find a direct link to the video library in the description below. Right, I think I can see, yes, Michal is just gone back in. Hello, Michal, how are you?
Hello, John. Hello, everyone.
Hello, nice to be with you again. It's been a good few months actually since we last hosted you, so it's lovely to be back with you. And it's difficult to know what to say, but I guess many people in Poland will be a little nervous about Putin's aspirations and future plans at the moment.
Nobody know what to expect. But it's the common problem for entire Europe, not just only Poland.
Yes, exactly. We're all in the same boat. So, and I think our Prime Minister Boris Johnson just made a speech to that effect. So, yes, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the coming weeks. Well, anyway, I'm glad we had this class pre-arranged with you and that we can now all escape together into the world of watercolor. Sometimes I always say escapism is the best tonic, but before we do, just a quick 30-second word on how today's class is going to work. So first of all, we'll talk through the preparation. This will include talking about the sketch, some theory, and applying the first layers of paint. Then, while that dries, we'll take the opportunity to see some examples of Michal's previous works of art for inspiration, one of my favourite parts of the show. And then we'll then discuss his upcoming 2 to 3 hour workshop webinar happening in a few weeks. I'll also explain how you can grab yourself a special discount for that full event as well. Then finally, we'll complete the tutorial, after which, whether you're watching this live or watching the recording, you can share what you've done on our Facebook or Instagram page for comments and feedback from Michal, which will be great. Okay, so without further ado, let's get back to Michal and we'll make a start. So Michal, today we are doing a classic landscape, obviously a shorter version to the longer workshop, which we'll go through a bit later, which is a very quintessentially classic landscape. But today you've got a reference picture. It's of is it a stream or a river? I can't quite make it out.
Yes, John, you're right. This is a motif from UK. I have taken this photo during my workshops in Northern Exmoor in Somerset.
Ah.
Mm. This Barle River, I think it's a Barle River, not sure, but I think so. A Barle River near to Simon's Bath. Very beautiful place, and it was a very bright, beautiful July morning when I took a short walk along the river through the empty valley, surrounded with really old oaks and blooming pastures around. It was very early, the sun was low, and the entire foreground remained in the shade, in the shadow. and the meadows were in dew. A beautiful patchwork of lilacs and blues and different kind of greens, beautifully contrasted with very calm and very bright surface of the water. Fantastic place, fantastic spot.
It does look a beautiful. It does look a beautiful setting, and you say you took that photo. So, and the grass and a marshland next to the river there looks very tall. So, did you have to go very close to the river? Was it?
I was completely wet after this escapade because of the
Oh,
blue.
really? I could tell that. I could tell that looking at the location.
Definitely. Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so
Let's
let's make
start.
a start because we only have 45 minutes.
Here's a quick sketch I did with this photo last time, just to warm
Wow, I
up.
wish I could do a quick sketch like that.
I will try to recreate it right now. So let's start first. Very quick drawing. Let's establish a horizon line first, quite high. Here we have a line of blue and hazy hills in distance and a row of sunlit trees, something like this, framed with beautiful oaks. Here, there. The river here flow in a small depression. So we have a beautiful shadows under the banks. As you know, and as you see, I'm not trying to be very precise, just few elements to establish the main shapes. Okay, and now I'm ready, and let's start. I'm using my Chinese brush. You can use any natural, rather long hair one, probably. Okay. I'm using a cobalt blue for the hills. Working with vertical strokes. And very quick, I'm melting. Here are some warm tones of Jean Brilliant and cadmium yellow for the trees. So I'm going to leave a white line, a stripe of light in the distance, just under the trees. The valley is wider there and it catches some direct light. Nice. This is okay. I need to mix some dark, deep blue color to add some value to trees. I'm going to make some suggestion about light direction and put some shadows under them and around them. Need some more water. Okay, the sun is in the background and from the left. So I think now we have a nice definition of the light in the background. I can continue all the way down. The shadow part starts here. So I'm using a mix of lilac and some other well, earth tones from my palette, maybe some turquoise, make it more cool. Okay, it's enough for now with this. Let's start with trees. I need a very special brush for this. Some of you probably know it already. The worst brush in the world. Quite warm right now and it's dry very quick. So I need to remember to keep it moist. If I want to get a real dark mix, I need to take some ice gray and some ultramarine blue and maybe a bit of this. I don't remember. Wait a moment. Check it. Yes, this is Barle violet. Very nice to mix rich darks. Here we have some overhangs on the banks of the river and quite deep shadows there. And here on the right side, I think there's a spot of direct sun, just a bright spot. I'm mixing some bright green here.
What I've noticed, having hosted you a number of times, Michael, is that you don't seem to put an awful lot of water on. You're confident in painting fairly, I would say it's a medium wetness, and therefore you get the light of the paper behind coming through, because you're not the paint isn't spreading quite as much as maybe other artists would use. Would you say that's a fair comment? It probably depends what you're painting.
Yes, of course, many of my paintings looks like painting by different artists I know. I'm not usually I'm not soaking the paper first. I'm trying to apply the water then and where I really need during my process. and that's it. You need to control the water, and you need to be very very brave with it. Don't try to control every single element of your painting.
No.
Let the water do the job for you.
Yes. So you use water, but in a controlled way in the areas that you want to use it like that.
That's it. And here we have a beautiful colors of full full summer, middle summer, meadows, lilacs, turquoise, and so on.
Trina commented, watercolor offers so many different ways of working with it. I always love Michael's classes. Thanks, Trina.
Thank you very much. Now I'm painting some mirrors in the water, and I'm going to leave some white gaps to suggest high uh, foliage, some grasses in the foreground.
Karen said, this is so magical. Just dab, 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 and the values, colour combinations sing. Quite right, Karen. Diana said, Karen, I was just going to say that. You stole my thoughts. We're all on the same wavelength.
And quick to the other side.
So just before your sound cut off, you were talking about your brush that you're using, and Margaret saying, "Did have you doctored that brush, or did it come like that?" I think it's just an old brush, is it?
This one?
Yeah.
This one is a very cheap school brush. It's I know how to define it. It's I stole it from my daughter. Uh, Probably she's probably still looking for. Uh,
She's been
Really,
looking for it for years.
it's synthetic, of course. It's very cheap, very the cheapest brush you can find.
Yeah. So it's just totally knackered, as they would say in England. A knackered brush head but it just has that right sort of texture for that randomness of texture, I guess.
Yes, this.
Um, yeah, Karen said, haha, where do I buy the worst brush in the world? lol. Um, Now, Jennifer asked, I see you changed to a blue palette instead of green.
Yes, but it's quite characteristic for me. I really rare use greens. Even such a den with you can consider being just green is you can realize that just a few spots of real green here. Uh, I like greens, but just in a few places in the painting, not too
Yes.
much. I think I can define the beautiful summer day, summer greens without greens, in fact. Greens could be very aggressive in painting. You need to be very, very
Careful.
careful with it. Right. Thank you, John.
Someone's asked, do you find that blue hues for the trees create more atmosphere than green?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when we painting against the light, right?
Yes.
In the morning, there's some mist in the air. I love this effect, and it's very characteristic for me. Use it.
Yeah. Diana said, you'll have to leave that brush to your daughter in your will. It's so valuable. And Trina said, those really cheap brushes can give some interesting textures. Sometimes those brushes come in packages or in little starter painting packs for children. I have some super old flat brushes.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And she's got some super old flat brushes that she uses for some ink work. None of the better brushes work as well, and none of the newer cheap brushes work as well either. So that's very interesting. Carol said, I have heard of artists who deliberately allow masking fluid to dry in a splayed brush so it stays that way permanently. Have you heard of that?
Yes, exactly. Yes. I didn't use this kind of medium from a long time, but yeah, you can use it to
Yes.
do your best saber brush and something like this very
I
easily.
guess it's almost like using hairspray or something, keeping it in a certain
Yes, another.
orientation.
From texture. And yes, we need to paint a mirror of the heel. Very important for the composition here.
Now, in the reference painting that we used for this class, Richard's asked, did you use any masking agent in that?
No,
No.
no. The white details were made with gouache, or even not gouache, just white and white watercolor or Jean Brilliant. I don't remember right now, but it was something like this. Not masking fluid.
Yeah.
Yet I'm
Now,
trying to leave many white spots always.
now, I did call this a speed painting session, and it sure is a speed painting session. Now we're approaching the halfway mark, Michael. So when you feel is a good place to just take a pause, you just let me know.
Okay.
Should we take it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it's amazing how with those few, as I think it was Diana said, or it was Karen actually that said, the dab, dab, dab of Michael's approach, and it just appears in front of you. It's a fantastic technique, and something that I can only aspire to. Really, I can't really. It's you have to be able to see the mesh of colours working. It's incredible technique. So now is the opportunity where we can have a look at some of Michael's previous works of art for inspiration. So, Michael, what have you chosen to share with us as a previous painting?
Okay, as you can see, this town painting, cityscape, and this is very special, and because this is Lvov, an Ukrainian town located in the western Ukraine, just about 200 kilometers from me now. It's a beautiful historic town, full of life, full of cafes, full of tourists. My grandpa was born not too far in the other Ukrainian town, Stanislavov, now it's called Ivano-Frankivsk. I want to show you this one today because you can remember that right now, when we're talking and painting, people's dying there. This town and several others in Ukraine is under attack. Right now, the bombs are falling there, people are dying. And this is all about it. Please remember about what's happened just next to our border. Let's stay with Ukraine. Okay.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I'll just share the painting again. That was a really lovely painting and a lovely sentiment as well, Michael. Thanks very much for sharing that with us. It's a really sad state of affairs when the world can get into the state that it is at the moment. Let me know what your thoughts were about that painting. I think Michael caught the light and the atmosphere really, really well. So that was lovely. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're loving the show and the way that Michael's painting, please do remember to give us a thumbs up, because YouTube then recommends the show to more people, and it helps us with our mission to inspire them to give art a try, young and old alike. Now let's go back to Michael just before we get back to the second part of this show, and we're gonna talk about what Michael's going to be covering in the longer workshop. It's a 2 to 3 hour event, and it's going to be happening in a week or so's time. So Michael, what are you covering on the longer workshop?
Yeah, during my upcoming longer workshops, I'm going to find a motif from my other stationery shops in Spain this time.
Oh, lovely. And so this one's got, is that a church in the scene? Or
it's an old church, or maybe another monastery located on the steepy hill upon Hativa town in Valencia region. I painted it many times with students, and I'm always amazed with the beauty of this place. Full of dignity and peace, prompting to reflection. Yes, moreover, it's located in a beautiful old olive orchard. Absolutely beautiful place, and I'm going to paint it with you.
yeah, no, it looks stunning, and you capture the light so well. The light and shade, it's beautiful. Can't wait for that workshop. It's going to be a really good one. And as said, this longer 2 to 3 hour workshop webinar is more immersive, as it gives you more time to explore the techniques taught. You also pick up direct feedback along the way, just like a real on-site workshop, but without the cup of tea and egg sandwiches. So if you want to join Michael for this very classic watercolor workshop, it's taking place on Tuesday 15th of March, 3:30 in the afternoon UK time. If you can't make that time, don't worry, you can also pre-order the video recording as well. Spaces are limited, so we recommend booking early to avoid disappointment. To book, you can either click the YouTube pop-out link, which will just appear here, or you can visit our website, shopkeeparty.com. I'll share my screen now and just show you where to click. So you visit shopkeeparty.com, click on the live events section at the top, and then if you scroll down, there we go, and you'll see there Michael's upcoming workshop. Click on the see details, and that gives you a lot more information about the event, including the reference photos and everything. Those will get sent to you the day before the event as well, so that you can prepare. And I think, will you send me a line sketch for that as well, Michael, in advance?
You will get it.
Perfect. So we'll send that to you as well the day before. And so if you want to then sign up, you literally click that link there. It'll go through to Michael's shop, and you can then click this placeholder here. That's the video. And if you want to join the live event, you literally select the live webinar. Or if you want to order the video as well, you can tick that, and it's at a discount. This is our video library, so if you do order the video, come to that any point in the future, search for Michael, and it then shows all his workshops, and then you can have a look at the class info to remind yourself of that, and then watch the video with the watch button as long as you've purchased it. So hopefully that helps. In addition to automatic free entry to these live events, all our patrons can also use a special link on our live events page, giving them discounts off the longer workshops. Simply click the link in the description called Patron Discounts below, and I'll post that now. There we go, it's on the chat. Right, let's get back now to Michael, as I said, and we'll crack on with the second half of the tutorial.
At this stage, we have main object, main shapes established. So let's start to add some more life, some more contrast here and there. I'm preparing another portion of mixture with Payne's gray and perlane violet and some perlane green. I'm using the wall of my brush to add some extra texture.
So some comments that have been coming through. Someone said, I love the sky and water left white. Is it to keep the light? And I
Yes,
guess
exactly.
that is true.
The essence of watercolor.
Exactly. And Diana said, Michael, those touches of lavender, gold and aqua just make this painting magical. Trina said, thank you, Michael, for sharing this painting and your words. I so appreciate you being here today. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Hazel says, so sorry, so terrible for all in Ukraine. Cherry said, thank you for sharing that. United we stand. Marianne, thank you for sharing the other painting, Michael. Clearly very emotional times. Stay safe.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Richard asked, do you use Juan Brilliant 1 or 2?
Both of them.
Both.
But I prefer the one because it's more brighter. Yes, I prefer this one.
Okay. Anne said, "My mother's family is from Belarus and Lithuania. My heart is sad about this. Michael is one of my favourite painters. Love, love his work." Thank you, Anne.
Thank you very much for this.
Trina said, "It looks like Michael's using a thicker mix of paint right now."
That's right.
And yes, that's correct.
And many colors from my palette. There are opaque colors, and they give me very nice thick mixtures, which works in very particular way when you first apply them on the dry surface, and after applying, you spray it with the water, so you get this kind of effect very easily.
And Mary Jane said, "I'm praying for Ukraine, our leaders, and most of all those who are suffering because of these events. Thank you, Michael, for sharing that beautiful painting that puts the human reality to all of this." Thanks, Mary Jane.
Thank you very much.
Now, what did you feel you needed to adjust there on the horizon line?
Sorry?
What did you feel you needed to adjust there in the
I think
background?
I'm going to better emphasize the distance, and that's why I'm using some light blue to suggest an aerial perspective. That's it.
Hmm.
I want to uh, uh, shift it from me.
Yes, yeah. Take it, bring depth into the painting.
stage. It's almost ready, I think. I think that I was able to capture the essence of sunny July morning.
Definitely. That was really, really wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael. That was lovely. And
This one, less or more.
yeah, it's lovely. As soon as you put the mount on, always those clean edges. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michael. Now, how many of you were able to paint along and keep up with Michael there? Come on, hands up, hands up. I bet not many. I'm sure a lot of you will be maybe doing that a bit later, but our post is already on Facebook, so do share it when ready. We'd love to see how you got on. Now, as we near the end of the show, if you've got a message or any words of thanks that you'd like me to share with Michael, please do write those down in the chat now. As I said, our post is already on Facebook, so if and when you're ready to post your painting, it's got a little bit of emotional today in this class. I think it's kind of thrown me off a little bit. I think it's a funny world at the moment. We've only just got through COVID, really, so it's quite funny, really. Now, this obviously brings us to the end of another lovely art class. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll now go back to Michael and read out some of the comments that we've had. I know I've been reading out some of them anyway. We've had Lather said, praying for the people in Ukraine. Karen said, just beautiful. Wonderful to see it emerge. Love the darks next to the neutrals, next to the white. Works beautifully. Thank you so much for sharing your special approach. Andrea said, our thoughts are with you at this difficult time. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. You're my favourite painter. Trina said, Michael has such a delicate touch with those little flowers in the foreground. And Jennifer said, thank you and God bless. Bobby did a 3x3 sketch. Always love Michael's classes and paintings. Trina said, this is such a lovely painting. I truly appreciate Michael being here today. Watching you, Michael, is truly mesmerizing, and I always learn something really important to take away. Please take good care and hope to see you at the full workshop. Lather said, so evocative, lovely. Diana said, you are a master, Michael. I picked up many tips today. Many thanks. Wishing you and your friends and family safety. Judy said, I tried but cannot keep up with Michael. I love all of Michael's paintings. Today's painting is wonderful. I can't wait for the longer workshop. The thing I love about the longer workshop, you have time to talk about the different steps as you go along. Letting Michael just go ahead like today in this speed class, it's great for a speed session, but the workshop we can just go at a more steady pace and go at your pace so that we can keep up together. Debbie said, thank you, Michael. Fabulous painting, and the painting of Ukraine was very thought-provoking. Sad and worrying times indeed. Gary said, thanks, we're with you. Eva said, unfortunately I missed the first part, so I'll have to look at it in the video, but it's a wonderful painting. Thank you and take care. Alex said, thank you for sharing your expertise. Stay safe. Cherry said, thank you for today and see you at the workshop. Now back to your video of Valencia. Aha! So just doing your one of your previous workshops. So thank you so much. It's that obviously brings us to the end of another show. We've got some great new artists coming up in March, so do check out our live events page on our website for more information about all the March madness we've got planned. It's going to be great fun. If you've loved painting along with Michael today, I'd highly recommend checking out his other classes on our video library. Simply visit our website and search by artist, like I showed you earlier. The link is, as always, in the description, so you can click that as well. So there we have it, the end of the show. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also be sure to click the notifications bell when you subscribe, as it will then notify you each time we launch a new video with a new artist. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, it's obviously goodbye from me, but obviously thank you so much, and goodbye to Michael. I'd also like to wish you and your family all the best at this stressful time as well, Michael.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. We can't finish, no matter when and where we're doing this, we can't finish without a round of applause. both. Thank you, Michael.